We're joined now to talk more about UCLA by David Woods, who's from Bruin Online. David, we appreciate it. How are you doing? And thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to talk about this game coming up.
Let's talk about the development of the staff. When the hiring happened and they start hiring OCs and DCs, what did you think overall about the staff you hired?
I thought it had some big name, obviously, with Eric Bieniemy coming from the NFL, and I thought retaining Akaika Malloy as the defensive coordinator was definitely a good move. He had coordinated in the bowl game, and I thought that he did a really nice job. Knew the defense pretty well. That was pretty good last year, and so far he's done a good job. I think with Bieniemy, you're getting that name value. You're getting that NFL pedigree, which can help in recruiting. I think it's been a tougher go of it for the offense so far, where installing what is essentially an NFL scheme. I mean, Nebraska fans know, going back to, I think it was the Callahan era,
Yeah.
installing an NFL scheme at the college level is not a thing you do in a single season. And I think UCLA fans are seeing the growing pains right now. But it's hopefully for UCLA fans, the payoff is there in a year or so.
David, the schedule and then the transition to the conference. I mean, you've had a game in Hawaii. Yeah. You've obviously been to New York.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. First of all, the schedule maker for the Bruins didn't do you guys any favors there, but how tough has this transition been, just not only going into a new league, but the rigorous travel schedule the Bruins have had to go through?
Yeah, they were not eased into it. And part of it was their non-conference scheduling coming in, having to do at LSU and at Hawaii in the same year where you're trying to do a Big Ten schedule for the first time was not ideal. There were a couple schedules in the past few years where they had 3 home games. This would have been the year for that in the non-conference. I think it's been an adjustment. I think the bigger adjustment is simply the new schemes. I mean, I think people can pin it on travel, and I think that's had an impact to some extent. But they won at Rutgers. They won at Hawaii. They weren't going to win at LSU. They weren't going to beat LSU if it was at home either. So I think there's an impact, but I think it's a little overrated for the context of what this team is. I think the bigger issue is they played a lot of good teams. I mean, Indiana ended up, obviously, as everyone's talking about, a lot better than I think even people who were optimistic about Indiana and Kurt Cignetti would end up. And they came into the Rose Bowl and blew out UCLA. But they always had on the schedule LSU, Oregon, and Penn State back-to-back.
Yeah.
Nobody was thinking that was going to be anything other than 3 losses. It's really the Indiana game, and then they lost a winnable game to Minnesota at home. And those 2 are the ones that are kind of flipped from preseason expectations. But I don't see it as much of a road issue as much of it is that the team is just not, I think, as far along as maybe some people had hoped preseason.
David, you mentioned the offense earlier. Ethan Garbers has had a lot put on his plate this year as quarterback. He's thrown for just shy of 1,500 yards. How has he evolved so far this season in just the path he's gotten to get that first win in the Big Ten at Rutgers just a couple weeks ago?
First, got to say about Ethan, one of the toughest kids. He came back from 2 injuries last year. One, he was intending to redshirt and then maybe potentially transfer because Dante Moore had won the job. He came back when Dante Moore faltered, burned that redshirt possibility, then came back in the middle of the bowl game after he was probably going to sit out with an injury, but he came back when they needed him because Colin Schlee went out. Really tough kid, had a really good end of year last year. This year's been a tough road simply because of that new offense, and the offensive line has not been able to pass protect at all. His decision-making has not been great, but I would invite anyone to have good decision-making when you're constantly getting run down by 280-pound guys. Yeah. He looked a lot better against Rutgers. He looked calmer, and I think Eric Bieniemy, the offensive staff, did a much better job of giving him quick game things to do. Yep. You weren't seeing the deep drops. You weren't seeing them trying to even look downfield. They've taken, I think, 1 or 2 deep shots in the last couple of games, and you've seen the offense flow a little bit better. This, as it is right now, you got to kind of play with the team you have. And I think Bieniemy is starting to realize that. And it's playing to Garber's strengths. He's an accurate thrower. He can throw it, short to intermediate, and he can make good decisions there. Yeah. And if he has time, he can make good deep throws. But he's not going to have time with this offensive line. So they're playing more to what the strengths of this scheme are. And he's a good distributor. I think in a different offense with a better offensive line right now, he'd look a lot better, and his stats would look a lot better than they do.
David, we really appreciate it. We'll see you on Saturday.